Welcome back to a very special bonus episode of We've Done The MAFS, a pedestrian TV podcast. I'm Jules Arangiheue, podcaster, failed reality TV star and lover of all things trash telly.
And I'm Chantel Schmidt, Pedestrian TV's Married at First Sight recapper. And this time we have Domenica in the studio.
Explosive.
So obviously they have their Sit With Us podcast, but they were on last season of MAFS. So the tea that they're bringing.
They were in Sydney. We were like, we have to get these girls in, and far out. They exceeded my expectations.
100%. Let's get into it and watch it. Yeah. All right, we're here with Dom and Ella from MAFS 2022.
Yeah, 22, baby.
Welcome, gals. All right, you know what? I'm just going to jump straight into it. We actually end all of our interviews with fuck, marry, leave. Let's just start, because then that's going to get a gist of where your head is at,
Okay.
and then we can backtrack it.
Okay.
So fuck, marry, leave. Let's do the grooms of this season.
Mate, this season, that's really hard.
I don't even know who I'm going to fuck.
Oh, I know who I would fuck.
Oh, I know. Go.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Amen.
Hey, Duncan. How are ya?
Yeah.
I would say Duncan. Who would you fuck?
I'm going to go completely out of the ballpark, and I'm going to go the new guy. Can't even remember. No.
Hugo.
Yeah?
Okay.
Can we have some backing on that?
Yeah.
I just, Ella can...
Actually, now it doesn't surprise me now that you've said that.
Yeah, she knows the kind of guys I go for. I go for
can see
weird
that
guys.
now.
And I reckon he just needs someone that's going to bring him out of his shell, and I reckon I could be that girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well,
Jules and I personally are both horny for Ollie.
Oh,
So horny.
bless
Yes,
Ollie.
actually, yeah. See,
He's just a little bit too young.
yeah, Ollie's a bit
How
young.
young's too young?
yeah, how young? Yeah.
Well, he's 26, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jules and I are out. We're
It's touch and go for us, but yeah.
So
26.
He's so gorgeous, but
He's so cute.
him and
She's having
Tony-
her back blown out all the time. We had Janelle come on to this podcast,
Yeah.
and she said that Tiny came into their room saying that she needs like back pain because she was having her cheeks clapped every night. That's what she said.
Well,
Maybe not to
then-
that extent, but that's what she said.
Wow.
I mean,
he's young, you know,
he
he's
can
got
get
all
it
that
up. He can
testosterone.
He
Yeah,
can go
yeah.
probably 3 or 4 times a night.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And it's always the skinny, wiry, lanky guys,
is.
huge dicks.
Yes.
Always the wiry guys.
Yes, it's the ones that you least expect.
I reckon he does have a
He's
huge
packing.
cock.
He's
Yeah,
packing.
right. Yeah.
Okay, marry.
Oh, can I choose the same one?
No.
Oh, damn it! I should have married Duncan.
No.
Damn.
I don't even know who I'm going to marry.
No.
Ooh.
Oh. See, I wouldn't marry Duncan.
I would have married Duncan.
I reckon I'd marry Ollie because he just seems really fun, easygoing.
After we had that conversation, you're like, I'm going to marry
That's
Ollie.
He loves
I
a
think-
root. He
yeah.
loves a root. So I'd be happy for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to marry Ollie too.
Yeah.
Because I would have married Duncan, but I've fucked him already. So
Yeah.
I'll marry Ollie.
All right.
Yeah.
And this might be an obvious one, but who are we leaving at the altar? Who are we leaving?
Oh my God, there's multiple.
I mean, if it really came down to it, probably Shannon. Yeah.
Shitty Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Honestly, the worst
He's-
groom I think I've ever seen on
Yeah.
this show, right?
Like, just when
It's
you
shocking.
thought you couldn't get worse than Harrison, bam. Shitty Sharon,
Yeah.
Shannon.
Sharon.
Sounds like a Sharon.
He's a male version of a Sharon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's so like,
I mean, just him, Adam, and Harrison, all of them, they can all just leave.
I know.
But with
actually.
Adam as well, I'm like, I feel like I know this guy. You know those men, those type
Yeah.
of men that just talk at you,
Yeah.
always trying
Yeah.
like fly under the radar.
I want to talk more about Shannon.
Shannon,
Please.
yeah.
Because do you guys feel like you were stitched up at all? Did you like him in the beginning?
I actually didn't mind him at the wedding. At the wedding, I was like, oh, wow. Like, he actually has beautiful eyes. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you can probably kind of get lost in his eyes a little
Yeah.
bit, but I don't know. There was something about him that I just didn't. I don't know. I think the hair and like the solarium tan, I just couldn't get past.
Yeah.
But also, what happened was totally unexpected. I was not expecting him to bring that out. Like, I didn't think he would take such a dramatic turn in his personality.
Yeah, I don't know. The MAFS producers really love to do that. You know, going from the
But also,
wedding to
He was also a very good liar in casting.
Was he?
He would have been.
Yeah, yeah.
He would have lied like so well.
How is
That
someone in
true.
love with their
Yeah.
ex? Like, who are you,
And
man?
convincing the producers that he's been single and finding it hard.
But as two people that have been through the casting process, do you think that the producers knew about the ex and him still being in love? And
No.
were like, great.
He would not say, I'm still in love with my ex, because they really do ask, well, they asked me, like, they asked me so many questions about my dating life. I feel
I'll
like if
play devil's advocate here, and I think you kind of might be onto something here.
do you
becau-
reckon?
I'm not saying like they fully knew he was in love
Yeah.
with his ex still, but they would have, you know, especially with all the psychological analysis that you've got to do, I reckon they would have dug deep into that and seen like, I don't think he's actually over it. He does have his walls up and he's a bit of a douchebag, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I mean, they really stitched up Caitlin, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, that poor girl. Oh,
Man.
I found as a viewer, I was kind of like, oh, who's this Caitlin? And I'm glad that she got a backbone and she was like, no, you will listen to me talk. Do the producers pull you aside and give you that pep talk? To
They
kind
do,
of be like,
yes.
he shouldn't treat
They
you like
do.
this girl.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
They'll be like, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah, 'cause
Speak up.
you do your voxies separately, right?
Yeah.
And they're never anywhere that they can hear you, anything like that. So the producer would have been like,
They would have
Caitlin.
pumped her up.
Oh,
Been
yeah.
like, go back in there, girl. Like, they
And she would have
would've-
needed the pump up
Yeah.
after what he was saying to her.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was
And like the
broken-
shitty palmy that he walked down
Yeah.
the street 10 minutes to go
To
and
get.
get.
Yeah.
And then,
That whole thing was just
it was just
shocking.
so, I couldn't watch it.
Do you know what frustrated me the most was when he goes, all right, well, then you talk. Like he was acting so much like a child
Yeah,
there.
like, who are you, the teacher?
Yes,
Oh.
Yeah.
exactly.
I know.
Well, on that, what's been, now you you guys are viewers, what's been the most frustrating scene from this season that you feel like screaming at the television and throwing the remote at the wall from when we met these people? Has there been a scene that stuck out to you that your jaws were dropped?
Multiple for me.
Well, I think a standout for me, wanting to literally throw the remote at the TV multiple times, is Harrison.
Yeah.
Like constant, his behavior, his attitude, he's a smart ass. Like constant airtime for him. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, what's with
What do
giving
you-
these douchebags airtime and like no one's pulling them up on it either? Like even Johnny on the couch,
Yeah.
I'm saying it to myself, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of calling him out and then he's just sitting there smug asshole, like giving it back to them.
Yeah.
Why are we giving dudes like this airtime? I don't know, that's one thing. But yeah, multiple times I've wanted to
Yeah.
throw the remote at the
At
TV,
him.
smash
At him.
the laptop
Yeah.
for Harrison. Another one has definitely been the Claire and Jesse drama.
Yeah, what's your
Honestly,
thoughts? Can we unpack this?
well, I think Claire and Adam are as bad as each other, and I think Claire is very manipulative and she's smart with what she's doing because she knows Adam's an absolute dipshit and will not apologise and will be, do that kind of, douchebaggy type thing. So she's seen that moment, I'm going to be really empathetic, I'm going to cry, I'm going to act like the victim here a little bit to get everyone's,
Yeah. I'm not.
to feel sorry for me. I don't trust her at all, that
We've
one.
had this conversation. Like, I think that the way that she's handled herself and what she's had to say is very brave, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
in front
walking
of
into
everyone.
the
that's-
cocktail party.
takes a lot of courage
Yeah.
to do that in that environment, but I'm not fully convinced on her apology and the way that she really is.
Do you think she's going to fuck over Jessie again?
I don't
Fucking know she is.
Nah, I don't think that she will on TV.
But she will do it again, babe.
But something will happen. But yeah, I don't know if she'd do it actually. On
I don't
TV,
know,
'cause
man.
if she
There's
does-
something about her. Like, she loves the crystals, loves the sage, but, bro, she needs more than that to help her at this
Yeah.
point. And then, like, you said this before, it's a good point. Someone that's really into spirituality, into, all of that kind of stuff, doesn't do that.
Well, so you believe in karma very heavily because I'm a very spiritual
me
person
too.
and like, come on,
Like, I don't care how many drinks you've had, how many
Yeah.
times you've gone down for a vape. Babe,
Yeah.
you know what you're doing.
like,
How's them leaning on
I
the
know.
vape story? They're like,
Leave
what's
the
the
vape
vape?
out of this.
What's the vape got to do with
The
it?
vape
the vapes out of
storyline.
it.
And he literally had the vape on the coffee table when Janelle walked out. Did you
dude,
see?
the vapes are
No.
really... Hello, if we had our vapes anywhere,
No,
They were-
Really?
the vapes are always in it.
because they were just becoming a thing when we were away filming. That I literally, it was like the first time I was seeing them. I'm like, what are these things that everyone's having? And everyone's having them.
Yeah.
But no, it was very much, you can't have that anywhere near set. We knew they all had them, but we just weren't allowed to have them on set.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the dinner party, were you just like...
No, Brent was vaping at the commitment ceremony. I was sitting next to him.
But like...
I go, bro, if Tara sees you...
Oh, Tara, the producer.
Oh, yeah,
yes, I
yeah.
feel like I know Tara from the Carolina
Carolina.
debacle.
Yeah, Tara, I feel as though didn't work as heavily on this season,
Yeah.
and you can really see it because she runs a tight ship.
Wow.
She wouldn't hesitate walking in on a dinner party, being like,
Screaming.
"You fuckwits, what are you talking about? Like, we're not
Don't
here to
waste our
talk about.
time."
Don't waste our time."
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I just don't really know what's happening with this season. It feels quite disjointed. A lot of stuff's happening off camera. We're not putting two and two together. Like
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Couples are coming into the dinner parties, and 1 week they're happy, then we don't see them during the week, and then they come next week and they're hating each other.
Like Lyndall and Cam,
Yeah.
is that who you're
Literally.
referencing? Agreed.
And they're not showing anything that's happened, and they're not even talking about it at the dinner
Yeah.
party. So something's
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. I did get that vibe when Jesse had to speak to like a webcam when he was like, this is just what's happened. I was like, oh, I just
Yeah.
would have thought cameras would have been there. But.
No. And that's
Yeah.
the big difference with our season, because we were in lockdown, right? We had like strict curfew. We had security guards outside our doors. Like, we weren't mingling off camera, whereas this cast is doing a lot of that.
They're creating and furthering their relationships with each other, and which just makes the dinner parties redundant at this point, because we're just sitting there being like, hang on, when did that so it's very much a lot like that.
Yeah. And obviously your season was batshit, right? Like it was insane. Do you guys feel like this new crop, it's taken the weight off you guys a little bit? Like or it's brought you back into the vortex?
I'd say a bit of both. I feel like people are definitely, if I go out, which is very rare these days, but people are recognizing me more again because it's like bringing up old stuff. But I'd say, a bit of both.
Yeah, people want to come up and talk to you about MAFS and what we think about the new season and all of that kind of stuff. And it does, I think it refreshes people's memories that,
Who we were.
on the show
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But it's very interesting watching this season because it's so different.
Yeah. How do you think it stacks up?
Oh, you can't compare.
I agree.
It's
You
so
cannot
different.
compare, yeah.
I think
Ours was like so amazing and explosive, but for different reasons. It's like a different show this year.
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
It is like a different show. I think ours was, as much as it is a produced TV show, I think ours was really raw and fully just off the cuff. Like, really didn't know what was happening. We didn't create relationships off camera. And I think things that went on, with myself and another person, I think people related to that because they've either been in that situation where they've been, I guess, victimized by someone like Olivia, or they've loved someone that's, been bullied by someone like her, or they've been told that their voice is too much and not to speak up and not to talk, speak their truth or whatever. So,
But I also feel like from this season, because there's so many flops of men, it's also very relatable. There's
Yes.
3 types
Yes.
of men in there that all of us have experienced.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's the
that's
thing.
making it
Like,
relatable.
yeah.
But also, it makes me really uncomfortable to watch it. I'm like, why are
Yeah.
we giving these dickheads airtime?
But it's like,
But are we uncomfortable because we've dated these
We've
men?
dated
Yeah,
them.
100%.
Yeah.
so it's, I feel like this season is relatable probably just because of that, whereas ours was relatable for more important things like friendship and values and like
morals
having a
and-
voice in really important situations, whereas this year it's just watching these time wasters hurt people.
That's what it is, time wasters. It's like we're watching it and we just think to ourselves, come on, like they're not going to last. What are they going to put them through next that they're going to, what's the drama going to be about now? I don't see a lot of hope.
Yeah.
I think there are a few themes I feel like that are being revisited that were in your season.
Yeah.
And one of those is seeing a woman kind of lose her light. And Ella, I know you last season, obviously there was a lot of conflict avoidance with Mitch, I felt, and you just, you came in really energetic and bright, and we all loved you, amazing. We still did, obviously, when Mitch was picking away at you.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've sort of seen that with Janelle a little bit,
We kind of feel like Janelle and Adam, that it was very similar to Selena and Cody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From our perspective, from seeing it from the
The way
inside.
Selena, like the way that Janelle had been with Selena, we were kind of like, like this kind of, is similar the way they were both just sort of taking what they can get from who they were matched with.
Yeah.
But then Janelle really, came out and stood her ground, which was amazing.
Yeah, which Celine never did, and you definitely did that. Like, you were just like, well, hang on, Mitch, this is who I am, and this is who I'm going to be, and you...
Well, we can thank the double scotch on the rocks for that on the final night.
I remember it so well. You just came out hot.
How much can you drink?
You can drink you can have pre-drinks. Mitch and I always did.
Yeah, so you can get lit beforehand.
Yeah.
And we've definitely noticed a few moments where we're like,
Same double,
Yeah.
But it was funny that on that final dinner party, they actually gave us hard liquor because
they knew.
Hard liquor, brown liquor, I'll be fighting. I scrap.
I was drinking literal double whiskey on the rocks because I was like, I want to get pissed tonight, Mitch, and I swear.
Yeah, and then
have a double.
And then that box comes out.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm drunk, and everything's gonna come out, and I'm fucked out.
That man had another personality too, hey? It would just he would snap and it would just go from one side to the other.
Towards the end, I didn't drink because can you imagine if I drunk?
God, it must be so hard, honestly.
Well,
I'm like 2
anxious.
wines.
Oh, I was anxious as fuck. I couldn't even eat.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sitting at a table where pretty much all of these people highly really dislike you?
Yeah.
And the only person that's got your back is, Jack and you guys. So it was very, very highly anxious scenario for me.
We've seen some of the brides, Claire especially, walking in and them just being met with such an icy reception. Is there anything from your season? Is there any night that you guys were like, fuck, that energy was the worst tonight?
OnlyFans night.
OnlyFans night.
It started from being in that tent, waiting to go into the cocktail party for 2 hours. And I just...
Because leading into dinner parties, right, if something's up because the producers come in and say phones.
Wow.
And they took laptops off us as well because they wanted to stop anyone from communicating. And they did that, I think, 2 or 3 times, the experiment. And when they would do that, Mitch threw a hissy fit. And I'd be like, babe, just give me shit. It's fine. We'll see the guys in a few hours. What's it going to be? We're here, I'm here. What else matters? But then it would always make sense when something would pop off because you're like,
And I didn't think twice about it that night. But when I was in the tent for 2 hours, and I'm sitting there being like, okay, they're starting to pack up the rest of the tents now and we're still sitting here.
Yeah.
And my producer came out about half an hour before I went in and she was just checking up, like, how are you? I was like, something's happening. The moment I walked into that cocktail party, I just...
And it was interesting because that night, what everyone saw on TV when those girls were discussing I didn't actually hear any of that at the cocktail party. So when I saw it on TV, I didn't even realise they were having that conversation over there because I was over there.
Sneaky fuckers.
So they were actually chatting about this photo coming out, and I had no idea until it did at the table when when we both found out. Time.
How big's this room? Because as a viewer, I just assumed that if you guys are chatting over there, that's what it looks like.
It's quite big, and they strategically place the couches, I guess,
but
separately.
Also, because everyone's having conversations, it's kind of loud.
Yeah.
You can't really
Yeah. And also, let's be honest, why would you have wanted to be over there talking to them?
Well, and I wouldn't have been.
These tents, I had no idea about these tents because what we see is you guys pull up in the car and then you're in.
Oh, no. No, in your tent, you get a shitty aircon, one of those ones that's just like the blower.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even cool air. And it was 35 degrees some days.
What are we talking? Like a marquee or like
a little...
I'm just picturing you guys zipping up and tucking in.
Yes.
You go in a tent, they're all lined up. With your couple or by yourself if you're in your couple.
You got a sleeping bag or?
2 chairs, bottle of water, some snacks, some mags.
Fucking sober up in that tent too.
Well, you do.
Yeah. And Uno cards. Jack and I would just play Uno. And we'd be so loud too, slapping the, we'd play Snap and we'd,
Oh my God, but you've had a great husband. I mean, I don't know what I would do 2 hours with some dude that I hated.
No phone, no internet.
Well, no phone, no nothing. Oh yeah.
If you were beefing with your husband, you'd be sitting there in silence. Or separately, or in your own tent.
Yeah. There was one dinner party that Bronte and Harrison walked in together holding hands, and they weren't even living together. And I'm like,
they wouldn't have been probably in the same tent then.
Yeah,
excuse me.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Rewind.
I don't know. Their relationship, honestly.
That's a weird one there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you think, because I've seen on TikTok that everyone's like, look, we feel like because there was such a change in that Bronte and Harrison and now they're all sweet, do you think that they paired up and they were like, we know what this is, let's just see the season out?
100%. And then with the leaked voice messages and all that,
it's come out like, you know, it's,
That's why they're not, Channel 9's not giving her any press at the moment. That she's not doing any interviews because,
I mean,
she's done it, look, I'm sorry to say it, but like,
if people go
she should have played the game a bit better.
Yeah.
You never send a voice memo. Hello.
No. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, Dan and Sandy, right? Dan has obviously breached his contract.
Dirty dog.
Dirty Dan.
He's breached the contract. He's been seen with Double G.
Yes.
We're calling her
Double G, Orange dress.
And he'd be getting into shit right now.
Mm-hmm. I have a theory about this. Do you want to know my theory?
Yeah, she's
Would
got
love
a theory.
I think my theory is quite accurate. Now,
I'm interested to see how.
Dirty Dan, he's clearly breached his contract. He's big fuck you to Channel 9 and Endemol. Why do you think that is? I wonder why he's getting in now ahead of what potentially is to come. Why would he be sticking the knife in now?
Well, we
just had Evelyn on. And she was like, fuck that. Like, and sorry, like, and on camera, not even off the record. She was like, we did fuck, marry, leave. And she was like, leave Dan, fuck Dan. Like, went hard for Dan. And we were like, okay.
I don't know if she said fuck Dan, but she didn't like, she
was
like
going
Dan.
hard for Dan, as in like, leave Dan.
Yeah. And
When they're doing the podcast, is the press lady in here with her?
There's the press.
they're in the control room.
In the control room,
Yeah. They're watching, but no one came in. Anyway.
Wow. I mean, well, he's put it all out there anyway, and he's looking like a dickhead.
He's not hiding anything.
No.
And everyone keeps saying it's the person you'd least expect to be the villain this season. So maybe it's Dan, but I also see them cutting his airtime. And I feel bad for Sandy because I want her to get as much airtime as she can.
They definitely are cutting their airtime. Hey, you can really feel that. I think they'll probably leave next week anyway.
You think?
I reckon they will too.
I think
I'm surprised that they're like even still around, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
they're like glorified roommates.
Yeah.
It's like a relationship.
It's weird. He's so not into her, and I really like Sandy, and she deserves so much better than just some like guy that like clearly needs a hair transplant. No offense, Dan, but like legit.
Wild.
No, but if you're gonna be an asshole and you're gonna like see, the thing is, right, going out and doing all these paparazzi shots, making yourself into whatever dipshit you want to like show yourself as. You're not only hurting the show and that like you've put all this time and energy in, you're actually hurting the person that you went into this experiment with. He's not thinking about Sandy at all. So that's why. No. Sorry, Dan, but yes. Hair transplant. I'm sure it'll drop into your DMs when you get your Instagram back anyway.
So what happens to him for breaching the contract? Does he get just a little slap?
He'll probably just get cut off from doing all press, lack of airtime, but they're not going to do anything, are they? No. I would love to see someone get sued, but we're not going to see that.
So Shants does all of the MAFS recaps.
Amazing.
And you guys would have seen a lot of cooked headlines about you in the media in general.
Yeah.
What's been the most outrageous thing that you've read about you?
Well, I don't really see all the art. Like, I don't read any of it, but I think the most recent one that I could remember is probably saying that Mitch and I are back together.
In what world?
Yeah.
In what world?
I know.
We caught up like, I don't even know when it was, like 6 months ago?
Yeah, it probably would have been,
About 6 months ago, I was in Queensland and we caught up, and I guess maybe like someone saw us or something. And Ella and Mitch have been hiding their relationship this whole time. And we were like, oh, it's news to us.
Yeah.
What universe did that happen?
Okay, yeah, sure.
I can't even, to be honest with you, I can't even think because there's been so many like cooked ones. I don't know. Probably something to do with Olivia. Something that she said about me or whatever. Some bullshit.
Olivia.
There's just been so many.
Yeah.
Oblivia. I call her Oblivia.
Oblivia?
She's oblivious.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. I like it. On the topic of, what makes headlines and whatnot, because what you just said is the thing around you and Mitch. People are very invested in your guys' dating lives, right?
Yes.
So I did a little bit of a Google before I came in here. And do you want to know, you probably know yourself if you do.
I haven't Googled myself.
I haven't Googled myself in ages.
Well, this will be news to you.
Okay. Tell me.
So you know how those little auto-populated questions come up? Like this is what people are obviously asking.
Oh, yeah.
No?
So,
Google. Yeah.
are you ready, Dom? You will die. Google wants to know, are Dom and Jackson still together?
Where's that come from?
What? Yuck.
That Wild.
And Ella, yours is your top. Ella Ding and Domenica, a couple. I was like, cute.
We used to get asked that all the time, and like people would say they're secretly hiding their relationship, and we're like, let them think that.
No matter how many times I have to say I love cock, people still.
And I'm as straight as it gets as well.
Yeah.
In a different way.
I mean, we love that. Love it. But
I think there's something about having a really, really beautiful friendship in your 20s, because Mum thinks Jules and I live together. We're roommates.
Oh, nice.
Mum,
as well.
My family thinks that Jules and I.
Oh, you know what? We went on a P&O cruise together, and I think that's the one that they were like, that's it.
There's just us on the bed with grapes.
Because we were single together for so long that like we're just immediately +1, even for like the most intimate romantic settings.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like we are such like tight, close friends that when Ella comes to my place, we sleep in the same bed. I sleep in her bed at her place. Like
sometimes in nothing.
But
it doesn't mean that we're like into each other.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Jules never sleeps in my bed unless she's vomited and has vomited on her sheets.
Another
and needs
bender.
to come on.
Yeah.
Different life.
How do you come up with all of these amazing headlines for Pedestrian? Because sometimes I'm just like, wow, that is good.
Thank you. Well, I think that as two people who have been on the show, you would know that those headlines write themselves, right?
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
Like, you were Princess Bogan because you literally called yourself that.
And I still stand by it to this day. I love it.
I love that.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. Like, there was one where Olivia was like, I'd rather be cuddling Jackson's balls at home. And I was like, okay, there's a headline. Like, it actually just writes
Some
itself.
of the things.
Some of the things that came out of her mouth.
Yeah.
It still blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, white trash, that was so funny.
Huh?
Like, I just found that really...
When she called you white
When
trash.
she called me white trash.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, when she called me white trash, I was... Because obviously I didn't see any of those voxies, like, from that moment. So when I was watching it back, I was actually like, okay. I mean...
It was intense.
All right, but, like, weird, man, and, like, the burner at the stake and... all of those kind of things. I was like, whew,
how did she get away with half of that stuff?
Dude,
you know?
I mean, I don't think she really got away with it, let's be honest.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
I think, I think there was a moment in the experiment where she maybe she decided that she was going to be the villain, so she played into it. I think she still plays into it to this day.
Yeah.
Which is quite sad, but...
Yeah. Well, obviously she was a surprise for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
What are your predictions for this MAFS season?
Ooh. Can we choose one male villain and one female villain?
Perfect.
Well, actually, look, I can't choose one male villain because I think there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
To be honest, the only good guys that I'm seeing right now are like Ollie, Duncan, and I mean Hugo and what's the other one?
Rupert.
Rupert. They haven't done anything as of yet. You know what I mean? They look harmless. So
what about we haven't been talking about Cam and Lyndall.
Bro,
I don't really like him, hey. I didn't like the whole you just do whatever you do. I don't like that. I want my man to stand up for me personally.
Yeah.
I don't know, their whole relationship seems off to me.
Yeah, there's something off. I feel like there's something coming.
They set it up last dinner party, don't you think? Like you in the doghouse, and that was it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you even put it in?
Coming.
Yeah.
There's something coming for sure.
But also there's stuff that's been leaked.
that she's a bit of a bully apparently. Did you
Yes.
see that? Taylor.
And didn't she like kiss someone? She
hooked up with Josh.
Daddy
Josh, yeah.
Daddy Josh, yeah.
Have you seen the TikToks of how he looks these days?
Oh yeah, he's
He's
had
like-
a full glow up.
Right? He's low-key hot, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I'm
like,
into it.
yeah, it's very Chance's type.
We're going to
for
do a
sure.
campaign. We're going to get me with
Yeah,
Daddy
yeah.
Josh.
I think Daddy Josh was playing
My rent's
up
going up, I
being
need the
Mr.
money.
Toy Story fucking Disney Lego man. I think he was
Yeah,
playing up.
put it.
He was playing up on that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's now been seen going out with Harrison and all the
Yeah,
douchebags. I'm
yeah.
like, Daddy Josh, that ain't a good look for you.
Yeah, maybe we don't want
You know?
him in.
So there's multiple douchebags there, multiple
There he
villains.
is.
Yeah.
I think we're the women. I mean, I'm between Lyndall and Claire. I think they're both vying for titles.
Yeah.
What about Lyndall?
I just don't trust her. I don't know what it is. Like, I just have this
Yeah,
feeling. I just get like this. I don't know.
She's very like she's got the confidence to speak up. Like obviously,
We love that.
Yeah, she's got the confidence to.
We
speak
love a
up.
confident queen.
But sometimes, yeah, I don't know. Like I really liked her at the start, and like her whole story was, really heartfelt and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm kind of a bit shady vibe.
I mean, they go real hard with the like sob story at the start. Always
Yeah.
have done it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a sob story, but like obviously she's dealt with a lot of shit in her life. But, like, you know, it's a big deal. It's a big part of her life. But I feel as though they make a real big deal out of it at the start just to really counteract the behaviours that are going to come.
Yeah.
I don't trust her, hey. Like the way that she's like, I really don't want to have to be the one to tell everyone. I'm like, yes, you do.
She's in everyone's drama, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure she knows everything. She like knows everything about everyone.
And they shouldn't be knowing everything.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
she can hear everything that's going on in their rooms.
I know.
It's wild.
Oh my God.
I'm low-key glad though, because on our first week we do Fuck, Marry, Leave every week based on the week that was.
Yeah.
And on the first week I was like, Lyndall, yuck, boring, leave. So maybe that's her aim. Maybe she's like, this relationship's so boring, I'm not going to get airtime. I need to be in everyone's business. It's working.
I don't understand what the idea of like the airtime is. Like I
wouldn't even know to think of that in there.
Bro, it's so intense, and so are they just in there? I did hear that all of a certain group of the women all got a tattoo together. So I think they're all
During the show? Or
during the show.
What did
so
you
I
hear?
think there's a bit of a
Clicky,
bitchy group in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Because when we
But
were in
we've got matching tats. Does that mean that we're clicky and bitchy?
No, bro, in the experiment, while they were in the experiment, and they left out other people.
What is the tattoo? Do we know?
I don't.
Who have you heard from? Come on, you can't
is
just
it
drop
Tana,
that.
Lyndall?
Don't say the names, but
Okay.
what it's,
No, because I don't want to say, but like this is what I've heard,
Yeah.
and that just tells me everything I need to know.
Sure.
Yeah.
That tells me
it's a strong click.
we're on MAFS season 10.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even
Was it
think
10 or
the whole
20?
time I was filming MAFS. I was like, I just need to get through each week, bro.
Yeah.
And you guys are testament to you don't need to be an asshole to be able to be successful after the show, you know?
No, you just be you.
Yeah.
But like it's easier for you if you're going in there to just be yourself. It's actually easier.
Yeah.
Like if they're going in there for clout, like realistically, let's play devil's advocate here, okay?
Yeah.
They're going in there, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cause some drama. Bronte, let's focus on Bronte. She knew who this Harrison is. She said it in a voice message. I'm just gonna stick through it just to get through it, whatever. Now that everyone knows that she's putting it on and everyone knows that she's just sticking through for no fucking reason, does she think that when she comes out of this, like, what does she actually think that she's going to gain out of this now? People aren't going to believe her. She's not genuine. A brand's going to want to work. If this is her idea in her head of what she's thinking she's going to gain out of this, what does she actually expect to get out of this?
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, if you're going into a TV thing purely just to get famous,
Oh, no.
you will not be rewarded in that way.
Yeah.
Cringe vibes.
Because whatever kind of style TV it is, especially if it's dating, right, and relationships, producers know that you're not going to be genuine because they are pretty good at gauging that, right?
They're
So
smart.
they're going to stitch you up with who you get matched with. So that means that you're probably going to not be able to uphold this person who you want to be, and then your mask will come down, and then you'll fuck up, and like people will see straight through because us as viewers, like everyone that's watching it can see it anyway.
You got to think, like, us from viewers, we're seeing through the bullshit. Okay?
Like you can see it straight away.
Like I don't really understand even what like I don't care how drunk you are. Like how fucked up would it be to have done that? Like to kiss another guy.
And Adam, of all people.
Adam of all people.
I'm like, what happens if
ugh.
Duncan knocks on her door? She's
We're fucked. We're all fucked.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it doesn't make sense to me the thinking of these people at this season. It doesn't. I can't understand because I was literally in my apartment with Jack every Friday night. We'd have Negroni night on our balcony.
Yeah,
and can I just say, Harrison and Bronte are in mine and Jack's room, and they've fucking ruined it now.
Yeah, bad juju.
Yeah, that was a beautiful apartment where we had so many good times. I cooked so many meals in there.
Yeah.
Like, we watched movies. We had girls' nights there. And now, look at him. Fake as fuck.
Do you think anyone on this season is actually going on for genuine reasons? Anyone? Or do you reckon nah?
I thought Caitlin was.
Yeah.
I feel like she
sorry
was.
for her.
Yeah.
Oh, haven't we all been that girl when we're just
Yes.
like, please
Oh.
love me and like
Oh
crying?
my God, all the time, babe.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I really felt for her. I feel like she's genuine. And I saw an article about her potentially having like another shot.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I
Fingers
wonder.
crossed,
What do you
hey?
mean? What do you mean? Like as another intruder?
No,
I reckon
just bring her
next-
back.
Next season or something.
Yeah.
I really like Tanya and Ollie.
Yeah.
I think they're super genuine.
I think Duncan and Alyssa are also genuine. Like,
Do you think they last?
I do.
I don't.
No,
I
I think
don't know. I see
Alyssa's
cracks.
playing nice girl now.
Yeah.
I think
I
Alyssa's
feel like the
playing it a
cracks
bit
are
nice.
showing.
I think that maybe there's a bit of
The
a...
cracks are showing.
Oh, they're showing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's
I
a
don't
bit of a
know.
firecracker.
There's something about him that I can't. He's very boys club, that one. See, he doesn't want to
Duncan.
say anything about the boys. Have you not noticed that? None of the men are standing up, especially with the Shannon and Caitlin thing.
Yeah.
I would have thought the boys would have spoken up a bit more.
Yeah. Well, Duncan was the only one to speak up through that. Well, what we saw,
I
right?
know,
We don't
but
know what
like-
gets
saw,
edited.
yeah.
Come on, Duncan, a bit more. Like you're a
Yeah.
bit bland.
But also, that happened very early days.
Yeah.
They don't really know each other.
Yeah, true.
To really be like, fucking, you're an idiot, mate.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Duncan's not that kind of person. But,
Oh, she
You are
loves
so
him.
Team Duncan. You are just waiting for this to end so you can jump in.
Harrison, he's setting up Daily Mail pap shots so early on.
well, see, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen
Babe,
the
I've got
pictures.
Ella, are you
curious.
seeing someone at the moment? Like, would you be open to this Duncan storyline?
No. I wouldn't be open to
Yeah.
dating Duncan.
Dating Duncan.
I'm just excited that he has a personality because people that look like that
Yeah.
don't really need to
Do you
sometimes.
think he has a personality?
Yeah.
I think it's starting to.
come out a bit.
Yeah.
They're
I've
digmatized. They can't see
I said
past
some
it.
shit about him in the previous episodes, but now I'm like, I judge too
I
quickly.
think he's a bit bland.
Yeah.
He's a bit just like a bowl of steamed
But I
rice.
reckon he's not off the show. I think that he might just be carrying himself a bit
Yeah.
bland on the show.
Yeah.
But there's more to him.
Yeah.
Boring.
That's me talking like I know him.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's
we should
boring.
do that.
Why not go on the show and
Yeah.
just be yourself?
Yeah.
Because
Hello.
a lot of them struggle.
Oh.
Hello. A lot of them struggle to do
I
that.
know. I said, how hard is it to get a route?
Yeah, yeah.
That was
I
genuine.
remember very well.
Yeah.
That was one of my favourite storylines was the period sex storyline.
Thank you. I'm
I
very
was
proud
like,
of it.
thank you for someone bringing light to this.
Yeah.
You know, I think...
I'm actually so proud of it because still to this day I get DMs from men and women actually saying that it started a conversation in their relationship.
Amazing.
And they were able to talk about, I'm actually horny on my period and I'd like to have sex with you.
And isn't it just crazy that it's literally us as females, as human beings, how it's just a part of who we are.
Can't talk about periods
it's
when
so
it's
ridiculous.
literally what we deal with
every month.
every single month,
Every month.
with your partner,
Yeah.
with whoever you might be with. It's a conversation that you have with your partner behind closed doors. So
Well, especially with
Agreed.
your show, you're married to them. Like, and you can't
Exactly.
talk about
No,
periods.
if you can't talk about periods,
you're
then
moving in with
Yeah.
a stranger. You're literally living with a person who you just met.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm
Every
asking
day.
him to pass me a tampon,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can talk about. And the thing with that whole conversation was, it was only like a 5-10 minute conversation. But I think because they really saw that, hey, this is actually a really big talking point and it is going to ruffle some feathers. But that's the beauty of MAFS because
Yeah.
everyone does talk about it in their, their lunchrooms at work or, the mothers group of a weekend, whatever. So it does get the community talking and it's something I was proud of. Like, my nonna, it was like, she was like, oh my God, Domenica, why'd you have to talk about that? My brothers, didn't specifically like it either, but I'm really proud that made a thing. And as with the OnlyFans thing as well, I think in the moment, the heat of the moment when it came out, I was like, oh my God, this is going to ruin my life. Like my family's going to know. But now I'm just like, you know what? I'm so proud of how I stood up for myself and I backed myself. And the people that I had around me, Jack, how he stood by me, but also having an amazing friend like Ella who literally was there for me and had my back, and just didn't understand why these people couldn't see why what they did and what they said was wrong.
It's still mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's still to this day.
But it's mind blowing for us. But I think once we get out of our echo chambers, people still think like that. It shocks us.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why it was such a big, huge thing because there are people in society that still think like that.
Yeah.
And that's why the dinner parties of MAFS, they're my favourite. I love the dinner parties because it is a real cross-section of society. You can see...
Different beliefs, personalities.
Who am I at the dinner party?
Yeah.
Where do I fit in? So I think it's a really interesting part of the experiment and it's a really crucial part of the experiment, I think.
Yeah.
You're so right, because even watching Alyssa when they were doing that sex week, I don't know why, but she was really fucking irritating me when she was like, I just can't look. Like it was so like I'd
Don't you
step
have
back
a
in
kid?
time.
Like you've had sex before, like
Yeah.
relax.
But I was like,
Yeah.
hun, you need to fuck yourself before you can have good sex, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
Oh, girl, we're all about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
So
But weird. Like, okay, we get it, you're Mormon, but you haven't been Mormon for a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she was really leaning into
That could have been a little bit don't touch my
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
No, that is so old. That
Yeah.
whole, oh my
Oh,
God, no, I don't talk about sex and that whole
No.
narrative. No,
Oh, like,
but-
oh my
No.
God.
Yeah.
I can't let Duncan fuck me with his huge cock. Like, please.
well,
Do you reckon Duncan's
I reckon he's.
Do you reckon he's
packed
packing?
no, I don't.
Really?
Really? He's such a big guy.
Because I think that someone like Ollie has big dick energy, right? Putting aside that he looks like Pete Davidson.
Actually,
Pete Davidson.
Yes. Ollie's got a huge dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duncan, TBC. Tell us when you find out, Ella.
I'll let you know, guys.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we should wrap up.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun talking to you.
Yeah,
guys.
it's so natural.
Yeah, this has been amazing. Thanks so much,
Yeah.
guys.
Love that. Maybe at the end of the season, we'll come back and be like,
Yes.
fuck, that was
Yeah.
cooked.
That would actually be really
Oh,
interesting.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, girls.
Thanks so
Done.
much.